Podium check. Podium check. Microphone podium left. Microphone podium right. Podium right. Podium left. Distance. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Staff microphone 1. Staff. Staff 2. Staff microphone. Dais left to right. Dais 1. Dais 2. Dais 2. Dais microphone 3. Microphone 3 dais. Microphone 4 Amadeus. Microphone 5. Help me, Dr. Zayas.
It is 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 19th. I'd like to call this Planning Commission meeting to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Chairman Charlie Wetmore,
Here.
Vice Chairman Jim Flynn,
Here.
Commissioner Michael Brock, Commissioner Rich Delcour,
Here.
Commissioner Lydia DePaul, here, Commissioner Dan Grove, Commissioner Will Howard.
You had like 2 heres when you said that. How'd you do that?
Oh, I said one.
Okay. Notice regarding adjournment, the Planning Commission will not hear any new items after 9:30 p.m. Unless authorized by a majority vote of the commission members present. Items which have not been heard before 9:30 p.m. may be continued to the next regular meeting or a special meeting date as determined by the commission members. October 22nd, 2025 minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move to adopt the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion, changes, edits? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Do we have any public comment?
Not.
Do we have any public? No, they're all on TV.
Yeah, they're watching
Good
at
night.
home.
Okay. And there is no old business. Under new business, we have adoption of the 2026 Planning Commission meeting dates, followed by adoption of 2026 Development Review Committee meeting dates. Mr. Frazier.
All right, I just brought up on your screens is the Planning Commission meeting and application submission schedule for you to review and make a motion on. It should have been in your packet, so you had an opportunity to look at it already.
The only question I have is May 27th is 2 days after Memorial Day. Commissioners present, is that going to be an issue with anybody?
I don't think so.
Do we have to do a motion on this, or we just recognize it?
Make a motion to adopt the 2026 schedule.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the application for Schedule Planning Commission 2026.
You might as well throw DRC on there.
Oh, he hasn't brought it up yet.
It's a separate
have-
motion. I'll bring it up in one
Second.
second.
Fine. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Try to do them at the same time.
I just brought this up. What it really is calling out that it is every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Same schedule as we've done years past.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Development and Review Committee 2026 meetings.
Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Item 3 on new business, Chipotle at May River Crossing Development. A request by On Point LLC on behalf of First Chatham Bank for approval of a preliminary development plan application. The project consists of the construction of a single story, 2,385 square foot restaurant with associated infrastructure. The property is within the Jones Estate Planned Unit Development, consists of 1.12 acres identified by the tax map number in the agenda within the May River Crossing Master Plan at the intersection of May River Crossing Road and Pondberry Road. Mr. Frazier.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a preliminary development plan for Chipotle at May River Crossing. It is a request by On Point Partners LLC on behalf of First Chatham Bank for approval of a preliminary development plan. The applicant proposes the construction of a single-story, 2,385 square foot restaurant with a pull-up window and associated parking, accesses, landscaping, water, sewer, and drainage. The 1.12 acre property is zoned Jones Estate PUD, and it is within the May River Crossing Master Plan. This is the location of the property. I will bring up the aerial. You should be familiar with this. This is the public shopping center here. We've got a Starbucks. Subject property is right here. Actually, the CVS that has gone through just recently sits right above here. So the subject property is parcel G on the master plan. we'll bring up here in a second. This application for preliminary development plan is located with the Jones Estate PUD. Therefore, it's subject to the standards set forth in the PUD and development agreement, as well as the May River Crossing Master Plan. The subject property is parcel G on the May River Crossing Master Plan. It's accessible from 2 different roads within the development. I'll point them out in a second. And to conform to the currently approved master plan, any proposed buildings on this parcel must front the adjacent park amenity. This is the master plan. This is parcel G. The actual, I don't know if you could see my cursor very well, but this is actually a park amenity. The intent of the master plan was for the buildings that were adjacent to the park, that the buildings themselves would front onto the park. There's existing on-street park that wraps around the amenity. But other than that, themselves should orient so that they're facing the park amenity. Here's a layout of the site plan that was included in your packet. This is a little bit closer set up. It's one way through the parking. This is existing May River Crossing that cuts right across the middle of the parcel G. This is existing May River Crossing as well. This is Pondberry Road. As you go, we've actually turned to your right is north. And you come out of Pondberry Road, going west, takes you right out to Okatee Highway. The building, 2,385 square foot. This is the dumpster adjacent to it. We have an extension of a wall across here and it actually turns up so it encloses the dumpster. It also gives the illusion of more frontage on this parcel, fronting on the amenity, which is down to the bottom of the screen. We have parking spaces here. There's a total of 29 on-site parking spaces that are required, and that's calculated at 12 spaces per 1,000 square foot, coming out of the modifications for the Jones Estate PUD. The applicant's proposing 27 of the parking spots on site. I should mention that they're permeable parking spaces. They originally came in with 2 additional parking spaces so that they were providing them all on site. We asked that they remove these 2 parking spaces. They're reaching out to the declarant, which is Public's Property Management, to have at least 2 of these parking spaces allocated specific for Chipotle to meet their parking requirements. The reason we had them remove this was to protect the big 52-inch live oak that's over here. And so they followed through, made adjustments based on staff comments. There is outdoor seating here. I believe we hadn't had that confirmed, but if it is outdoor seating, it would be calculated into the parking requirement. So there would be 3 additional parking spaces required. So that would be asking for 5 off-site parking spaces instead of 2. It's a good situation here where we're asking for declarant parking off-site because literally these spaces are the closest to the building, even though they're off the property. I mentioned that it's pervious parking, the one-way traffic flow. If I understand their business model correctly, there's no menu boards. You don't order once you get in the drive-thru. You pre-order. I'll let them elaborate on that, but it is simply a lane where you're coming through to a window to pick up an order that you ordered off-site. Oh, let me I've mentioned everything. I've paraphrased everything that we have on that slide. The property's within the highway corridor overlay, so you'll see this again as a COFA highway corridor overlay submittal. Lighting, landscaping, and architecture will be reviewed. Staff comments on the preliminary development plan were reviewed on October 8th to demonstrate conformance with the May River Crossing map. And the item was reviewed again on October 22nd. That's where we had that they only had a layout that did not have they had their drive-through wrapping around the building, the bottom side of it, so that the actual drive-through lane was between the building and the park amenity. We said that does not conform to the master plan. Rework your site plan. They did so. And so we saw it again on October 22nd, confirmed that it conforms to the master plan. The applicant provided a response to comments and revised plans on October 23rd, and updated site plan reflecting a minor change in foundation plantings and patio area was provided on October 31st. And that's the site plan that was in the packet. Planning Commission shall consider criteria set forth in section 310.3A of the UDO and assessing an application for a preliminary development plan. These are the criteria. The responses were a part of the packet in the staff report. Planning Commission can approve the application as submitted. You can approve the application with conditions. You can table the application, or you can deny the application as submitted by the applicant. Should the Planning Commission choose to approve the application with conditions, town staff finds that the following conditions should be met. That is, 1, the allocation of off-site parking spaces must be provided in a letter of approval from the May River Crossing POA at time of final development plan submittal. So that allows them an opportunity to, sometime between now and final development plan, to acquire that letter. So I have a suggested motion. The applicant is here, and I'm ready to answer any questions, or if you'd like to answer any questions.
Actually, can you bring that map back up? I do want to, yeah, right there. This is parcel G, so it goes all the way to 170, correct?
That's correct.
Then the applicant does have another possibility for those 5 parking spaces. They could be diagonal across May River Crossing Road.
They had mentioned that they could provide that, and so yes, they could. In fact,
so if we do, my thought is if we do this with that condition, we ought to stipulate that or provide it elsewhere on the property.
okay. And this aerial, I'm sorry, this aerial does show that the entire parcel, this is the road that runs through it, where they have their design is actually on this half of the parcel, but the parcel itself, as it's deeded right now, has frontage on 170.
Commissioners, did you have any questions?
Yeah, couple. I know we're supposed to see the landscaping plan later, but when you look at this, Dan, is there going to be enough room to do the landscaping? It looks like they're filling up, especially on the bottom of this drawing. Are they going to be able to provide the landscaping? Is there enough room?
Yeah, they'll have it. They've got 5-foot landscaping buffer here, which we were okay with instead of the 8, because we did ask them to front on the building. They provide 8 along one side here. There'll be landscaping provided at the ends of each of the parking aisles. So I think they should be able to come in with a nice landscape plan and room for it.
Okay, and the parking that you've got on the bottom, you were talking about using some of those spots. What is that allocated to right now?
I don't think it's specific to anything, but it's on-street, off-site parking. There's several different. Actually, the opposite side of the park amenity has the identical parking. It's provided with the initial layout. And I don't think we have any letters from the POA that allocate specific parking spaces to anything.
So none of the other businesses are utilizing those spaces?
That's correct.
If anybody parks there now, they're just parking there to walk in that little park across the street. But yeah, when we did that PUD, I don't think we addressed any of the outlying parking spaces.
They have 2 alternatives too, that are, as you just indicated.
Anything else, sir? No. The only other question I have, and that's just that staff works with the applicant and addresses this. I know parking curbs were brought up on those spaces that are parking stops, those spaces that face each other.
Okay.
Does that fit what's
right.
needed?
We do have curb here. The only spot that they're providing parking stops right now is in front of the handicap. and we're okay with that. But it may change our mind with, the landscaping plan needs to ensure that there isn't any hedges or anything too close to the back of the parking stalls where they would get hit and beat up. But otherwise, if we look at the UDO, which doesn't apply here, but the UDO requires parking spots if parking stops if you don't have curb and gutter. And in this case, they do have curb and gutter, so it does.
They faced each other before, that's what it was. You
Right.
offset them. Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
My name's Griffin Savage. I'm the engineer with Thompson Hutton. Thanks, Mr. Frazier. So Dan narratively went through why we've got fewer parking spaces than required on site currently, and it's mostly just to save that 52-inch live oak that's there. Our conditional approval right now basically stipulates that we should reach out to the Mayor River Crossing POA. We are a little bit hesitant that the POA will be so further as to allow us to have those spots. We were just curious, in the event that the Mayor River Crossing POA does not allocate those spots to Chipotle, if Planning Commission, if town staff would approve the layout as is. Mr. Wetmore, I know that you mentioned having parking spaces across the street from Mayor River Crossing. That is an opportunity, just given that parcel G is still, a part of where Chipotle is proposing their layout. Could those spaces be pervious grassed as they are now? It would simply be a curb cut, overflow parking for the Chipotle as it is now.
I think that would be a discussion with what staff's comfortable with, to be honest with you. I think our purview and our concern, and please chime in, commissioners, is more that the spaces exist somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
And it's not, I think you're going to have plenty of spaces here. It's going to be enough, but we also have to think about the next project. And when the next project comes and says you gave them an exception, then it becomes an issue for us. So I think our purview is the spaces need to exist. If staff says that they can be grass with edging or something like that, then I don't think we would have an issue with it.
Dan, what do you think?
We would have to, it wouldn't be overflow parking. There's a required number of parking spaces. But we'd have to look at it if that were the case. I would hope that the POA is fine with. I don't think there's going to be an issue with that.
Is there anticipate an issue with the POA?
Publix
We
is
don't
not
at this
always
time,
the
we just know it's a
nicest.
possibility.
I think we're giving you an option to be able to move forward even if they say no.
Right. Yeah.
By doing it this way. Look, I've dealt in my business world, I've dealt with that particular landlord before in other projects, and I know it depends on the day you ask them.
Sure.
So I understand that, but I think we've given you a solution, and I do appreciate you. Probably would have made you do it anyways, but I appreciate you taking those two trees away from the live oak. I don't think Lydia would have let it happen.
Sure.
I don't think so, yeah.
If we were in any way to just make steps to understand the excess in parking that's available at Mayor River Crossing, would that in any way sway a decision, I guess? Could we, understanding what the developments are at Mayor River Crossing now and understanding what those parking requirements are for each of those establishments, understand what's required versus what is provided, and just understand how many spaces are in excess?
I don't think that's going to help you because each individual parcel has to have their own allocated.
Got it.
I know where you're going, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and I think there are, if anything, too many spots in that whole thing
Right,
right now.
right.
But it truly is consistency that we have to keep here, and it sucks for you.
So should we get essentially a response from the POA that will not allocate us these 3 spots on site? Essentially, we should plan for 3 spaces on the other side of Mayor River Crossing Road.
5, but yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask that question. Is
Depending
it
on what our
5?
motion is, yeah.
3 total?
It would be 5 total if you're talking, if the POA is outdoor dining. I think you.
Yeah, that will be outdoor dining that is located there on the patio area, but it wouldn't be more than 3 or 4 tables, we anticipate. So just to clarify, that would require 5 spaces versus the 3.
It is 12 spaces per 1,000 square feet, so it doesn't take. I think I calculated it and honestly.
I think this can be, I think you can come to a positive resolution on this. The absolute worst case is you're going to have some kind of parking across that street. And I just don't see them telling you no. I mean, because if there was another parcel that was going to be developed on across the street, not a park, then maybe I could see them saying no. But
And Charlie, just to echo your point, I have dealt with the landlord, which is now Publix, on a number of occasions, and they can be quite indecisive, maybe is a way to phrase that. And so we just don't want to run into where we have to significantly improve across the street, to pervious parking if they do deny our request. Because, we're just asking the commission to, just think a little bit more. I mean, you guys are, but practically those 15 parking spaces there will really be for Chipotle's utilization, even if there's further density, elsewhere within the development. There's no other businesses that are really in a close proximity to here. And if that park is, I don't know how often it's utilized throughout the year, but I wouldn't think very often. So even if there is people utilizing that park during the day, I don't see, hate to assume, but them using all 15 parking spaces there.
we're not disagreeing with you, but you have to have it locked in either via an agreement or you're going to it's the way our code is, unfortunately.
Dan, what happened? Haven't we had other projects come through that have similar parking to this?
Yes, and they got the
the letter.
permission.
Oh, okay, got it.
They're using parking off of their site?
Yeah, or I guess
They're
maybe.
all in front of them,
Yeah, they're all
like
in
in Old
front.
Town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We
Well,
have,
in Old Town,
In Old Town, yeah.
Decorin is
Yeah.
the town.
in the Riverside Village, the whole development across the street from this, that's exactly similar. The infrastructure went in, the roads went in, the parking went in, provided on-street parking, and as the restaurants and other things had come.
Okay.
These spaces are allocated.
And commissioners, I don't know how you feel on this, but I would almost be, first of all, that adds or the spots across the street, but said it gives staff some flexibility that if staff determines that this meets the criteria, even without the letter, that they. I'm thinking about that next project,
And just to clarify, the next project within this development or elsewhere within the town?
In the town.
Okay.
Anywhere in the
Yeah,
town.
anywhere in the town,
Yeah.
someone's
Yeah.
gonna ask.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and when they can, I mean, it's almost like, the lawyer who says, oh yeah, in court case 2 years ago, they did this, so you have to do it for me too. So, and if it's an area where it's pinched in, that could be a problem. So,
So not very often that you guys ever give a reduction from the required parking spaces?
I don't know that we ever have,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Just curious.
Yeah, because the other option is to shrink the building and then you have room for the parking spaces, but we don't want to do that to you.
And we don't want to risk the tree either.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Understood.
And that may be the consideration, at least for 2 of the 5, but I think if we give staff flexibility at final, that might be a good idea.
Okay with that.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want to take a stab at a motion? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank y'all.
I move to conditionally approve the Chipotle at May River Crossing preliminary development plan, subject to the following condition: that we are designating the staff to work through the allocation of off-site parking spaces to be provided by a letter of approval from May River Crossing POA or an alternative plan that staff is satisfied with.
Second.
Okay, any items of discussion? You think that gives you the flexibility that if staff determines they can be reduced?
Yep, that sounded good.
Okay,
Thank you, Rich.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Any items for discussion? Let's see, who has 20, I think Dan has 28.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.